Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Arjun Kakanda. A while ago, I got a chance to watch the new Robert Eggers movie, Nosferatu. Now, I know the movie came out like 2 months ago. I got a chance to watch it towards the end of January, and I didn't actually make a top 10 movies of 2024 list because the reason was, for the first week of January, I was in India. And then when I came back, I waited till I watched this movie to make the list. I still do want to put that video out. It'll probably be quite late. It'll probably be like end of February. But I do want to put that video out, so I will put it out. But this movie, I waited to watch this movie to make that list because I really thought it was going to be on it. And if you've seen the title and what I've thought about this movie on my Instagram, you know that that's probably not going to happen. This is probably not going to end up on that list. But I still want to review it, and I do want to talk about it because there's so much to talk about with this movie. Before I get started, though, let me know down in the comments if you guys have seen Nosferatu. What did you think about it? I'd love to know your thoughts. And also, let me know down in the comments, what were your expectations going into this movie? Or were you hoping to like it? What do you think of Robert Eggers' other movies? I'd love to know your thoughts. Now, I'm going to get this out of the way. To me, Robert Eggers is a great filmmaker. I really do love two of his movies, so I do think he's a really good director. I watched The Witch like last year or 2 years ago for the first time, and I enjoyed the movie. But before I watched that movie, I did watch The Lighthouse, and I did watch Northman when it came out. And I loved The Northman. That was one of my favorite movies of, I think it was 2022 when that came out. That was one of my favorite movies of that year. I loved The Northman. The Lighthouse, I think, is a great movie. I really enjoy Willem Dafoe, Robert Pattinson in that movie, and I think Robert Eggers did a fantastic job directing it. I still have no idea what the movie is. It's a very weird movie, but it's still certainly a great experience in my opinion. So going into this one, I did have pretty high expectations. I think The Witch was okay. I don't love that movie as much as I do the other two, but still, this is his fourth film, or at least fourth studio feature film, and because of that, I was very interested to see what he's going to bring to the table because I do enjoy his last two movies so much. And all I can say is whatever I thought I was going into it expecting, I really did not get that. Because I didn't watch the trailers for this movie. I didn't know what it was about. I didn't know what the story was about. I didn't know what the plot was about. I didn't know what exactly we were going to get from this movie. I had no idea. So when I watched it, I was a little bit just completely surprised by what it actually ended up being, but also trying to figure out how this movie ended up being a thing. Because I know I saw so many great reviews before actually watching the movie. And I think that also kind of set me up for just expecting to really like it. But I didn't. I really didn't like this movie. I think this is, I wouldn't say it's one of the worst movies of last year because that might be a little bit of a stretch, but it's pretty bad. I really don't think, I don't get how people really enjoy this movie. I know it's a remake of like a really old movie that's also called Nosferatu. I really don't know anything about that. I like I said, I had no clue what this movie was going into it. I went into it completely blind with a little group of my friends, and that was a really bad choice too. So the general gist of the movie is that we have Nicholas Holt's character who is trying to get this one last job done where he is trying to sell a home to a vampire, but little does he know this vampire does have a connection to his wife, who's played by Lily Rose Depp in this movie. And if we're talking about the main characters, we also have Aaron Taylor Johnson in this movie, who I thought was pretty good. Or honestly, I don't really like any of the performances in this movie, if I'm being honest. Aaron Taylor Johnson is alright because he gets some emotional scenes and stuff like that. But Nicholas Hoult, I'm very excited to see Nicholas Hoult in Superman as Lex Luthor. But in this movie, he didn't really sell me on his character. He felt like he was just trying really in a really odd way just to fit in with the rest of the cast. It didn't feel like he was in the right movie almost. I don't know why it felt that way to me. He just felt very out of place in the role that he was put in as a main character. Lily Rose Depp, she was really great in some of those really cool exorcism, scary scenes. But again, her performance too in general just felt odd. I felt like I was watching, like she was in the wrong movie. I felt like she was in the wrong movie. It didn't feel like she fit the role of her character as well as she could have. And maybe that's just me. I don't know how other people will specifically feel about the performances in the movie, but I don't think those performances work really well. The only performance I did really like in this movie was Count Orlok, played by Bill Skarsgård. I think Willem Dafoe is okay as well, but he doesn't get too big of a role in this movie. So he was alright, but Bill Skarsgård was fantastic as Count Orlok. I did really like his performance. Now, the problem with Count Orlok is his motivation throughout this movie. Because, I don't know what's in the trailers, so I may potentially go into a little bit of spoilers if you care about that. But I'm sure most people already know how the movie goes, or the story of the movie goes at least. So the movie starts off with a very odd, disturbing scene with Lily Rose Depp's character, where she basically summons like a dead spirit or something, and the spirit ends up being Count Orlok, who I guess is a vampire in the context of the movie, and really the whole plot of the movie just surrounds Count Orlok being a giant simp. I know that sounds really stupid to say in the context of a Robert Eggers movie that's supposed to be a period piece and all that stuff. That's basically what the movie is. So Count Orlok has sex with Lily Rose Depp's character. I think I forgot what her name was. Yeah, but basically that's what happens at the beginning. I think, at least that's how I perceived it. I don't know if it has any artistic meaning behind it. But I've talked to a couple of people about the movie, and they've told me that the movie is like a metaphor. Count Orlok is supposed to be a metaphor for Lily Rose Depp's character's demons or something like that. But that's stupid. I don't care. Literally what I'm seeing on screen is what I'm talking about. Because you can have metaphors and stuff and make it really cool and really detailed and stuff like that. But if your actual story that I'm watching is stupid and really disgusting, then I'm gonna have to talk about that. Now, I will say this, the first solid 45 minutes of this movie is really good. It's surprisingly really good. I really like the intrigue it builds up as you have Nicholas Holt's characters going on this journey to reach this palace place that he wants to sell to Count Orlok. And once he gets there, even the scenes there are very disturbing. I really like Bill Skarsgård's performance as Count Orlok. So his voice, the raspiness of it, the way he moves, everything's just a little disturbing. And you always just have like a lingering sense of like something bad's gonna happen whenever that character's on screen. And I really love that. I think that's fantastic. But again, that only lasts for a little bit. There's also a great scene where Nicholas Holt's character tries to kill Count Orlok, and Count Orlok wakes up, and it's so well directed. There's some great scenes like that throughout this movie. Or not throughout this movie, throughout the beginning of this movie, and maybe a little bit in the middle. And as you go into the middle of the movie where Nicholas Holt's character escapes from where he's the house that he's trying to sell to Count Orlok. Once he escapes from there, the movie basically just falls off. It's so dumb when you figure out Count Orlok's plan. It's just to get to this girl, to Lily Rose Depp's character, and to do that, he goes on this whole journey. He's on a ship. There's some great scenes where he kills people, which I will say I thought were fantastic. I think all the scenes where he kills people were great. The violent nature of it, the blood splatter everywhere. He feels like a threat, and I like that. But again, what makes it really stupid is his motivation. Is he's a giant simp that didn't get over a girl that he had sex with all those years ago. It's so stupid. I know describing it that way may seem like I am the stupid one, but at the same time, that's literally what's happening in the movie. That's literally the plot of the movie. And I don't really like the plot of the movie. Just the general plot of the movie is just stupid to me. So I can't really buy into the rest of the story either. Because as you go through the movie, he goes back and like he goes back to that town, starts hunting, and a lot of bad stuff happen. And again, there's some great moments, great sequences, really well directed moments. Cinematography here is absolutely fantastic. I wouldn't be surprised if this wins the Oscar for best cinematography. Personally, I think that should go to Dune too, obviously. But I think this is a pretty good contender for it. There's like on a technical level, there's a lot of great things in the movie. I also love the score. I think the music is great. But again, I just couldn't buy into the story, man. Like the story is so just I know it's supposed to be simple. It's not even that it's simple, it's just the whole plot is that he's a simp, that he's in love with or he wants this one girl that he met all those years ago. And as you go into the like last little bit of the movie, like the last 30 minutes of the movie, there's two instances of necrophilia. And I know again that's another thing that like just so like it's just shock value at this point. The movie isn't really trying to. I know it has metaphors and stuff like that, but what's happening literally on screen is just shock value. It has nothing more to offer behind the besides the fact that you have a vampire having sex with Lily Rose Depp, and it's just disturbing. Like there's nothing to it. I didn't feel any emotional like satisfaction when we got to the end. It wasn't like, oh, we figured out how to beat the bad guy. It's just literally give him what he wants, give him the girl, and it's done. He's gonna die. And I know again I get the whole point that he's being seduced by her, and you know, by at the end of the day, or like at the end of the night, I guess it's the sun comes up and he just dies because the sun's up. I get that, but again, it's just like, come on. There's so many other ways you could figure this out. Because, again, the thing is, Nicholas Holt's character could have killed him earlier in the movie, right? That's the point. He doesn't. He's just a few seconds too late. He could have just tried it again a different day. Maybe not as late as he went last time, you know? Maybe try it earlier in the day. It would make a lot of sense. But obviously, we're not going to do that. We're going to have to figure out a way to give him what he wants. And it's just like they really didn't find a satisfying ending for the movie. They don't beat the bad guy. He wins, but also he just dies. That's the point of the movie. And it's just stupid. It just doesn't work for me. I don't know why. Like the story of the movie is just absurd. And nothing about it is satisfying in any way. It's also like the heroes are never able to pose a threat to Count Orlok. Everything that he wants to happen ends up happening either way. They never are able to stop him. They're basically not even able to slow him down. Whatever he wants happens. So it's like you're watching what Count Orlok has planned at the beginning of the movie just play out. There's no subverting expectations, again, besides the shock value of what happens on screen sometimes. Aside from that, there's nothing that subverts your expectations. The movie really just plays out the way you expect it to play out, based off of what his plan is. And it doesn't help that, again, the story is just so absurd. And me and my friends while watching it, it's like there's so many scenes where we just kind of started bursting out laughing and or just like looked at each other. It's just weird stuff. And I don't know, I just it's just not good. I really just don't like this movie. And I know there's people out there that love it. I know there's people that are gonna call me stupid and a fake film fan or something like that for not liking this movie. But what can I say, dude? This movie was pretty bad. It was just bad. The story was really absurd. I couldn't get into any of the characters. I think the performances were pretty mediocre at best, other than Count Orlok. I think Bill Skarsgård did a great job as the vampire. But again, it's just his character motivation. I don't know about all that. But I do like his performance quite a bit. And if I'm being honest, this is probably Robert Eggers' worst movie easily. I don't love The Witch, but I still like the movie. I think there's still elements about it that I quite enjoy. This one, on the other hand, other than Count Orlok, or is the performance by Bill Skarsgård and his voice and his demeanor, and even like the first little bit of the movie, I do enjoy, like I said, the first like 40 minutes of the movie. I think the first act sets things up really well. It just really falls off after that. Really, the best aspects of this movie are the technical aspects, like the cinematography, sound design, score. Those are all really great. But as far as story goes, as far as characters go, and as far as just my experience with the movie goes, it just wasn't good. It just wasn't for me. So for my score, I'll give Nosferatu a 45%. I'm very much in between the 40 and 50 range, because I'm not going above a 50 for this, that's for sure. But it's just so, the movie was so weird, dude. I don't know. I wish I liked it, because I really wanted to like it. I really thought this was going to be in my top 10 movies of 2024. I'll tell you that it's nowhere near there. It's not even close to being in my top 10. But I don't know, man. It just felt like such a surreal experience to me. And even because I had such high expectations, it just let me down a lot. So yeah, those are my thoughts on this movie, guys. I know most people enjoyed it, so let me know down in the comments, what did you think of Nosferatu if you've seen it? And if you liked it, I'm sure you have valid reasons, so let me know why you liked it. And I would love to know your thoughts. If you enjoyed my review, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel for more videos like this. Also follow me on my other social media. I'll leave links to those in the description below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.